So first of all, apologies for this mask. I have to keep it on because the whole day today, hot, exposed to hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. The nose is agitated. Okay? So this is just on for precaution. Okay. So, yeah. So very happy to be here and to see all of you here. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Usually, wherever I go, whichever meditation center I go in Malaysia, always the same faces. Yeah. Some of them, like this year itself, when we are in Sarawak, we saw this person. Next we went to Santi Sukarama in Kota Tinggi. The same face again, same person there. Next we go to Bodhiarama in KKB, also the same faces. Okay. You have a clock. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so it's usually the same faces, same people attending the retreat, everywhere. Okay? But here, all new faces, except Mr. and Mrs. Ko, and also here. So the rest are all new faces. Okay? So, yeah, of course, that two over there from Penang. So, yeah, when Mrs. Ko passed me the name list, I looked through the name list. I do not know anyone of them. Okay, so it's good to see you. Yeah. So, but I believe you have been practicing Vipassana meditation for some time, in Subang Jaya, Bhante Nyanaramsi. Ipoh. Oh, okay. New. You have been given the basic instructions.
We listened to Bhante's instruction part 1
Oh,
for sitting
nice.
meditation. Actually, the sitting meditation is 4 parts, but we have the time to listen to all the parts. Then we jump to part 5, that is walking meditation.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because you selected the talks during the Vasa when I have the time to elaborate on it in detail. Yeah. So, but anyway, so more or less you know the basic instruction how to practice. So, for today's talk, I want to go through some verses, some gatha from the Dhammapada, from the Magga Vagga, the chapter on the Magga path in the Dhammapada. You know Dhammapada is divided into chapters. So one of the chapters is called Magga Vagga, the chapter on the path. So in this chapter, 3 verses. So Magga, of course, refer to the path, the Noble Eightfold Path itself. Okay? The path that leads to the cessation of suffering. So these 3 verses that I selected, in a way, it encapsulates the gist or the essence of the practice of vipassana meditation. Okay? Now before I continue, so I want to test you. Okay, you tell me, anyone, tell me, what do you understand? What is vipassana? What is your understanding? What is vipassana? Anyone? Don't worry, you get it wrong. Okay?
Vipassana is the development of mindfulness.
Development of mindfulness. Okay.
From there we can develop concentration.
Okay. Yeah. That will include also samatha meditation. Samatha meditation also involve mindfulness and especially concentration. Yeah. So you got part of it right. Okay, but the most important part, wisdom. Vipassana actually means wisdom. It's a type of wisdom, insight. Insight knowledge is a type of wisdom. So, okay. Now, so these three verses, it encapsulate the gist or the essence of what is vipassana and what is vipassana meditation. Kind of like state, this kind of state very briefly what vipassana meditation is all about. So it's from verse number 277 to 279. Okay. These three verses, they are almost similar except for the first line. So every verse, every kata in Dhammapada has 4 lines. Okay. So in these 3 verses, only the first line is different. The other 3 lines is the same. Okay. Okay. So. Okay. Now before I go to these 3 verses, so first just to define what is vipassana. Okay? So this is explained in the Dhammasangani Atthakatha, the commentary to the Dhammasangani. Dhammasangani is the first book in the Abhidhamma Pitaka. So in Abhidhamma Pitaka there are 7 books. The first one is Dhammasangani. Dhammasangani means something like a catalogue of Dhammas. Dhammas here means nature, mental, physical nature. Not the Buddha's teaching. So it lists out all the various nama rupa dhamma, all the various mental, physical nature that are taught in the Buddha's teaching. So including all the different consciousness, mental states, materiality, and so on. So there's a commentary to this book. So and in this commentary they define what is vipassana. Because vipassana is also one of the dhamma. It's nama dhamma, mental nature. It's a mental state. Basically it's wisdom. It's the mental state, cetasika. Wisdom, panya. So there I define what is vipassana. So it says, what did it say? Anicca divasena vividehi akarehi dhamme pasatiti vipassana. Okay? So vipassana. So vi and passana. So passana, seeing. Okay? So it says pasati, to see. Okay? The see here, not seeing with the eyes. I mean seeing with the mind. Okay? It's more like discerning. Because it's a wisdom, it discerns. Okay? So wisdom is like clarity of mind that discerns clearly true nature. Okay? So it says, and vi is explained as vividehi akarehi. So in various ways. So it says anicca adivasena vividehi akarehi pas dhamme pasati. So dhamme pasati. So it discerns Dhamma. Okay? Dhamma again here is not the Buddha's teaching. Nature. Nature. Okay? Qualities, natural qualities. Mental, physical qualities. Okay? So it discerns Dhamma. How does it discern Dhamma? Anicca adivasena vividehi akarehi. So it discerns this Dhamma, this mental, physical nature, in various ways, such as impermanent, anicca, suffering, dukkha, anatta, non-self. Okay? So vipassana is that in which discerns clearly, is that mental state that discerns clearly mental, physical nature in various ways, as impermanent, as suffering, as non-self. Okay? So that's vipassana. It's that wisdom, the mental clarity that discerns clearly the nature of anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanent, suffering, non-self. Okay? So that is vipassana. Okay? It's a type of wisdom, but not just any type of wisdom. Okay? Not folk wisdom. Folk wisdom, you know how to arrange your everyday life properly in an intelligent way. So in a way that brings benefit. This ordinary, everyday wisdom. Okay? But vipassana is that spiritual wisdom. Okay? That's developed through meditation. It's that clarity of mind. Okay? That discerns clearly nature of anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanent, suffering, non-self. Impermanent, suffering, non-self of what? Of mental, physical nature. Okay? So, okay. So this is vipassana. Right? So keep this in mind. Right? So now we go into the verse. Right? So the first verse it says, Sabbe sankhara anicca yada panyaya pasati atani bindati dukke esamago visuddhiya. So sabbe sankhara anicca, all formations. All formations is things that are conditioned. Okay? I'll explain this later. All things that are conditioned are impermanent. Okay? Sabbe sankhara anicca. Yada panyaya pasati. When one discerns this clearly with wisdom. Atta nibindati dukkhe. Then one becomes weary or disenchanted with dukkha. Okay? Atta nibindati dukkhe. Esa mago visuddha. This is the path to purity. Okay? So when one discerns with clearly, with wisdom, that all formation, all conditioned things are impermanent, then one becomes weary or disenchanted with dukkha. Okay? This is the path to purity. Okay? And the second verse is similar, except the first line reads Sabbe sankhara dukkhati. All conditioned phenomena, all conditioned things are dukkha, and suffering. So when one discerns this clearly with wisdom, then one becomes disenchanted, weary of dukkha. This is the path to purity. And the third verse reads, the first line reads, Sabbe Dhamma Anattati. All Dhammas, all nature is anatta, non-self. When one discerns this clearly with wisdom, then one becomes disenchanted, weary of dukkha. And this is the path to purity. So these three verses. So in these three verses, is the essence of what vipassana is, and what is vipassana meditation, and what is the purpose of vipassana meditation. Okay, so let's go through these verses. So the first one is Sabbe Sankhara Anicca. All formations are impermanent. So sankhara, formations, means things that are conditioned. Sankhara, sankharoti, or sankattam. So it means it's formation in the sense that it is formed, formed by the coming together of suitable conditions. Okay? So when suitable conditions are present, it arises. Okay? So this is what it means by formation. It forms when suitable conditions are present. Okay? So all mental physical nature, the five aggregates, are conditioned. Okay? So for example, eye consciousness, seeing consciousness, that is conditioned. That's a consciousness. It's under Vijnana Khandha, the aggregate of consciousness. It's conditioned. It arises from condition, right? So in order to see, so there must be certain conditions present, right? So without this condition, seeing will not arise. So first there must be the visible object. If there are no objects to see, there's no seeing. So visible object means colors. So without colors, you cannot see anything. Secondly, there must be an eye, a good eyesight. So the eye must be in working condition. So you are not blind. So that's another. Right? Then what else is it? Then there must be light. And there are no light also you cannot see. In the darkness you cannot see. Then also must pay attention. If there's no attention, if you are not paying attention, there's no seeing. Right? There are some People, when they sleep with their eyes open, right? Yeah, there's eye, there's a visible object, there's light, the eye is there, right? It's open, but they are asleep, so they are not paying attention, so they don't see, you see? So when all these conditions come together, seeing consciousness arise. Okay, so seeing consciousness is condition, is a sankhara, so that formation. Okay, so all 5 aggregates. You all know 5 aggregates? What are the 5 aggregates? What's the first one? Getting First is materiality, rupa. I mean material qualities, like the 4 elements. So 4 elements like earth element, hardness, softness. You feel this quality of hardness? That's the earth element. It's rupa. Okay? So you feel something else as it is paper. You feel it's soft. This is also earth element. This rupa. Okay? So fire element is heat and cold. Right now you feel cool. That's fire element. Okay? So then what else is there? Wind element is the support. So you feel support, like now you are sitting. Your body is upright. You feel there's something supporting the body, a force holding the body up. Right? That's the wind element. Okay? Without that, your body will collapse. And that's wind element. Feel it as something supporting. You can feel like the rigidity of the body, the stiffness, tightness, holding up the body. Sometimes you feel some pressure. So all these are wind element. So materiality, 5 aggregates. So then what else? Sanya, perception. Perception is a mental state. Mental state. Yeah. So what is it? It's a mental state that recognize. You recognize. Yeah? So you recognize. This is a man. This is a woman. This is a pillar. This is a floor. This is a mic. You recognize. Okay. So that's perception. Okay. So feeling, Vedana is a mental state. It's an experience of pleasantness, unpleasantness, neutralness. So when you experience an object, you feel, you experience, it's pleasant, it's unpleasant. And that experience, pleasantness, unpleasantness, or neutralness, that's Vedana. Then Sankhara Kanda is the, you can think of it as activities of mind. There are various activities of mind. But the leader of it is Chaitana, volition. It's volition that exerts the mind to do, to carry out various activities. Okay? Besides Chaitana, there is also attention, manasikara, turns towards the object. Okay? There's also mental contact, contact with the object. There's also like vitaka, apply on the object, vichara, sustain on the object. All these are sankhara, mental activities. Then as the last one is vijnana kanda, consciousness. Consciousness is simply knowing, the nature of knowing of the object. You're not rising, knowing of the rising. You're not falling, knowing or the falling. That knowing is vijnana, is consciousness. Sometimes also called chitta. Okay? That is 5 aggregates. Where do you find 5 aggregates? Yeah? Where do you find 5 aggregates? Within yourself. Yeah. Actually, we are 5 aggregates. Each of us is a bundle of 5 aggregates. I'm a bundle of 5 aggregates. You are a bundle of 5 aggregates. There are many bundles of 5 aggregates here. So we are 5 aggregates. So 5 aggregates is the constituent of our existence. Is who we are. So, but 5 aggregates. So it's mental and physical. Rupa is physical. The other 4 aggregates are mental. So they are, to make things simple, we sometimes say nama rupa. Nama rupa dhamma, mental, physical nature. Okay. What they are basically just qualities. Mental or physical qualities. So physical qualities like hardness, softness, heat, cold, tightness, stiffness, support, tension, and so on. Right? So physical qualities. And then the mental qualities, knowing, perceiving, recognizing, paying attention, and so on. These are all mental qualities. So what we are actually is just mental, physical qualities. Okay? So, but these mental, physical qualities, they are conditioned. They arise from condition. So without condition, they do not exist. Okay? When condition comes together, they appear, they arise. Okay? So they are formed. That's why they're called formation. Okay? They form from conditions coming together, supporting it. Okay? Yeah. And what are these conditions? These conditions are also other formations. So actually formations, supporting formations, and so on. So it's a process of conditionality. There's dependent origination. So you all studied not dependent origination. Avijja paccaya sankhara, sankhara paccaya vijnanam, and so on. So all this, all the 12 links here, nama, mental, physical nature, nama rupa. Although we only say one of them is nama rupa, but the others are actually also nama rupa. So nama rupa, conditioning nama rupa, and on and on and on it goes. So formations are things that are conditioned. So because they are conditioned, they have this nature, they arise. So they arise, and whatever arises must disappear. There's arising, there must be disappearing. Okay? So there cannot be arising without disappearing. Okay? Whatever arises must disappear. Okay? The text, it says, Yang kinchi samudaya dhammam, sabbata nirodha dhammam. Whatever has the nature of arising, all that has the nature of cessation, passing away. So sankhara means conditioned nature, mental, physical nature that are conditioned. Now, because the nature, they are conditioned, so they arise and disappear, moment to moment to moment, they arise and disappear. So during your practice, as you are contemplating, so So you start with very simple objects, right? Rising, falling, or sitting, touching. Walking meditation is lifting, pushing, placing. These are very simple objects. Okay? So you start like this, very simple. Rising, falling. Okay? So you follow, you make effort. You exert the mind to be mindful, to be fully aware of each rising, each falling. Okay? You place your attention there. As soon as the rising occurs, you place your attention there, and then you follow it. You flow with it. From beginning to the end, you follow. Okay? You make effort like this. You're not rising, falling. Now, at first, when you're noting this, it's still concept. Okay, it's still not reality. Concept means an idea. Idea that is conceived by the mind about our experience. Okay, so as opposed to reality. So when you are noting this rising, falling, the mind has an idea, first of all, of the abdomen. And this abdomen has got certain form, certain shape. So your mind is, when you first practice, you have this idea. You may even see the image in your mind, or this thing like a balloon or like a ball or what. And then you see it go up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay? So this idea is conceived by the mind. Okay, and these are called concept. Okay? So you may have heard that in Vipassana meditation we don't take concept as object. You take reality as object. But in the beginning, especially if you are totally new to the practice, okay, ask you to go straight to reality, you get lost. What is reality? So therefore, the teachers start you off with something that you are already familiar with, concept. Okay? Ask you to note wind element. What wind element? So ask you, not very simple. And you breathe in, the abdomen rises, you know it rises. This is very simple to understand. Okay? So you follow. Okay? But it's not reality, it's concept. It's just an idea of certain form and shape. Idea of the direction of its movement, up and down, sometimes left and right, sometimes it goes in all different directions. It's a concept of direction. Sometimes the manner of movement, or it's fast, it's slow, it's short, it's long. These are all also concepts. Okay? But you have to start with concept. Because it's something that you are all familiar with. So you start with something familiar with, that is a starting point for you. Easy for you to begin. Okay? But as you exert effort to know, follow, up, down, every time you know, you're exerting effort to be mindful. Okay? So you're strengthening the mindfulness. Okay? The awareness, be aware. Rising, you're aware, falling, you're aware, rising, aware, falling, aware. So every moment you make effort to follow. You're strengthening the mindfulness. So not only that, you're sharpening the mindfulness to discern. Okay? So this, you're developing the mindfulness. This is called bhavana. Developing. Right? Bhavana means what? Developing. Usually we say meditation. But bhavana literally means developing. So yeah, literally you're developing mindfulness every moment when you know. So you're strengthening it, sharpening it. So not just mindfulness, the samadhi also develop. Okay? As an exact effort to not. Okay? Together with the mindfulness, there are the jhana factors. Vitaka apply. Every time you note, vitaka apply on the object. Vichara sustain on the object. Ekagata fix, one-pointed on the object. Jhana factors are there, developing. Samadhi is developing. Okay? Moment to moment is developing. Now, so as mindfulness and concentration develops, then the mind starts to become clearer. Right? So when it becomes clear, you notice as you're noting, following up and down, then you begin to discern more clearly the nature of the wind element behind the up and down. You notice up and down is it's not just up and down. There's this physical sensation, like pushing, tightness, tension. So this is the nature of the wind element, the support. Okay? So in the beginning you just follow up, down. As you keep holding your attention there, no. Then it becomes clearer, you start to discern this wind element behind it. Right? So, yeah. So, and then you keep noting. Then you, after a while, you notice it's not just the wind element present. So there's also the mind, the knowing. Every time there's tightness, there's knowing tightness. There's pushing, there's knowing when they're pushing. There's the mind following it, shadowing the object. So every time there's an object, there's a knowing. Object, there's knowing. Object, there's knowing. So that means the mind is becoming clearer. Okay, so yeah, not only developing mindfulness and concentration, now the clarity is developing. Clear knowledge is developing. Okay? This jnana, clear knowledge, developing. You begin to discern more clearly. Okay? So we say we are discerning the sabbhava lakkhana, the specific characteristic of the mental physical nature. So here you are discerning the specific characteristic of the wind element, the support, the pushing, the tightness, tension. That's the specific or unique characteristic of the wind element. And also the unique characteristic of consciousness, citta, the knowing. Okay. Now, but as you keep noting, so you notice you have to keep noting. So the method is just to keep noting, continuous noting. Moment to moment, you have to make effort to note clearly, note sharply, note continuously. This is the Satipatthana method. So, Satipatthana method, what did the Buddha say? Kaya anupasi viharati atapi sambhajana satima vinaya loke abhijja domanasam. So the yogi dwells contemplating the body in the body, ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, overcoming covetousness and grief with regards to the world. And similarly, he dwells contemplating feeling in feelings, consciousness in consciousness, and Dhamma in Dhamma. So now you all know what's the meaning of Dhamma. Contemplate Dharma. It doesn't mean you contemplate Buddha's teaching. Take the Tipitaka and contemplate. Not that. Contemplate it. Nama Rupa Dhamma. Mental, physical nature. Okay? Yeah. So, Anupassana, contemplating. Means, Anupassana means continuous mindful noting. Okay? Pasana again, vipassana, pasana, seeing, seeing and discerning. So, anupassana, seeing, discerning. Anu means, anu means following. Okay, so one moment of discerning, followed immediately by another moment of discerning, and then immediately followed by another and another and another and another, continuously. Okay, that means continuous noting, continuous discerning. That's what it means, anupassana. That's what it means, contemplation. Okay, you must get this meaning right, because if you go and check the dictionary, what's the meaning of contemplation? They say the thing, to consider, to reflect. That's thinking. That's not meditating. Okay, the original Pali is very clear. Anupassana. Okay, mindful noting, moment to moment to moment, continuously. That's the method of Satipatthana. Okay, so when you practice, you have to make effort, ardent effort, atapi, ardent effort to note moment to moment, and every moment the noting must be precise. Okay? And that's why Buddha says body in the body, feeling in the feeling. You don't know the body in the feeling, or feeling in the consciousness. So it must be precise. Okay? So nothing must be precisely on the object. Okay? Precise also means precisely in the present moment. Okay? Because it's only in the present moment that the sabbhava lakkhana, the specific characteristic, the raw nature, the raw mental physical nature, is clearest in the present moment. Okay? So, any of you study Abhidhamma? Besides these two? A little bit. You know about the thought processes? The thought processes? Chittaviti. Yeah. So, see how you experience an object. So, like, let's say a sound. Experience a sound. So, the moment the sound impinges on the ear door, right? So what happens? There's an ear door thought process, right? That's where you get the 17 thought moments, right? That's one thought process. Now, this thought process at the ear door, it happens as soon as the object arises. It impinges the... So, the object that's experienced here by this ear door thought process is without any concept. It's just pure sound. The mind, because it's so fast, it just impinges. So the mind has not yet any time to process this object yet, to form any idea, any concept about it. You don't even know what is it. You just experience it as a sound. So this is a very raw sound. So you don't even know what it is. So then next, what happened? After the ear door thought process, then it goes into bhavanga for a few moments, and then immediately after that, a mind door thought process arises at the mind door, right? So at the mind door, the first mind door thought process, the object is like a photocopy of that object at the eardome. Because it's receiving that object, that same object from the eardome. Not exactly the same object, but like a copy of it. It's like it reflects, the object reflects the mind. Okay? So because it is the exact copy, exact same thing, so that is also pure nature, just pure sound. Okay, so there's no concept yet. Okay, so the first thought process at the mind door is still just pure reality, pure nature. But from the second mind door thought process onwards, then the mind starts to process. You start to take all this object, receive, start to put them all together, and form some idea about it. So like the sound, you put together this sound, that sound, you form a word. And then you join together some more words, you get a sentence, each with meanings, you attribute meanings to it. So the mind is processing, coming up with ideas. That is no longer reality. It's concept already. Okay? Yeah. So you want to discern clearly nature of reality as it is, raw reality. So you have to note as soon as the object hits the door of the senses. That means in the present moment, exactly in the present moment. You miss that, that is concept already. Concept arises very fast. Right? And right now you're listening to this sound, immediately you get the meaning. Right? And that's how the mind can process and come up with idea. If you're really practicing satipatthana vipassana, you're really noting very sharply in the present moment. Somebody talking to you, you're noting. You do not know what that person is saying. All you hear is just one sound, another sound, each one arise, disappear. The mind doesn't process it. It's like disjointed. But to do that, you have to know precisely in the present moment. Okay, but the mind also needs to be very fast, because the objects are coming. Somebody talk to you, so many sounds coming one after another. So no, continuously, precise. That's why anupassana. Not continuously. Then you only discern reality. Just some sound, arising, disappearing. Okay. So satipatthana method is to note continuously, note precisely, and you need to exert ardent, energetic effort. Because it's not easy. The object is coming one after another. Even just rising. At first it's slow because the mind is still slow and not precise. Up, down, very slow. As the mind develops, it becomes sharper, you start to see faster. It's not just rising, falling, it's rising, falling. After a while, it's rising, falling. After a while, it's rising, falling. Faster and faster. Because the mind is seeing more and more clearly. So we need to exert a lot of effort to be able to note precisely, note accurately, note continuously, and keep up with the noting. Okay? So that's what Buddha says, ardent effort, not just ordinary effort. It has to be ardent effort. So atapi, ardent, clearly comprehending. Mindful, this mindfulness and clear comprehension. So the awareness, mindfulness, aware, and then the clear comprehension, discerning. So this requires a lot of effort. Yeah. So, and as a result of this, so you dwell contemplating body in the body, ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful. This is result of this, overcoming covetousness and grief in the world. Okay? Because of this mindful noting, you're noting so carefully, meticulously, moment to moment, with ardent effort. There's no chance for the defilements or the hindrances to intrude. So you overcome the hindrances. The covetousness and grief represents the 5 hindrances. Okay? So you overcome the hindrances. In the world means the object that you are noting. Okay? So for a yogi, your world is the object that you are noting. Okay? That is your world. Small, tiny little thing. Okay? Your world is not even this meditation center. Not even this housing estate or what. Your world is just that object. Because that's all you know at that moment. Because your mind is so focused. And that's all. That's your whole world. So overcome with regards to that world. So this is the method of Satipatthana. Okay? So when you contemplate, you bring your attention within, you contemplate rising, falling. You apply the method of Satipatthana. Okay? So after a while you begin to discern the specific characteristic. So this heart, stiffness, tightness, tension, the knowing. So you apply this method, okay? Noting continuously, precisely, energetically. Then, so at some point you begin to see clearly that each of this mental and physical nature it has a beginning and end. Okay, it arises, it disappears. Okay, so first is just rising, falling, rising, falling. Then you begin to descend, rising, falling. You note each one, each rising has a beginning and end. The next one a beginning and end. The next one beginning and end. Okay, each one is a new rising. Okay, it's not mixed together. Okay, before that, your mind is not clear. You think it's just one rising, one abdomen rising. Now you see clearly. It's not just one thing. Even the abdomen no longer exists. What is there? It's just this nature, physical nature, wind element, one after another. Even the consciousness, before that you think consciousness is always the same. But now you see the knowing, each object has knowing, another object, another knowing of the object, another object, another knowing. Each one appear, disappear, appear, disappear, appear, disappear. So when the mind is sharp and clear, following this method of Satipatthana, eventually you can discern this clearly. Okay? So this nature of arising, disappearing is called Sankhata Lakkhana, the characteristic of things that are conditioned. Sankhata, Sankhara. Sankhata means conditioned. Okay? Sankhara means those nature that are conditioned. So Sankhata Lakkhana, all things that are conditioned. as this nature. When suitable condition present, they arise. This arising is a Sankata Lakkhana. So when they arise, they remain present for just a little bit, but they do not, even as they remain present, they do not remain static. They arise and then immediately they go towards dissolution, disappearing, breaking up, present, and then finally disappear. Okay, so this arising, presence, and disappearing. Okay? This is called Sankata Lakkhana. These are the characteristic or things that are conditioned. Okay? All Nama Rupa Dhamma, all Sankharas that are conditioned, they have these three nature. Okay? They go through these three phases in their existence. The moment of arising, of presence, and final disappearance. Okay? So this is called Sankata Lakkhana. So what do you do? Again, Anupassana, continue noting. So actually the method is very simple. Just keep noting. That's why you ask the teacher, what should I do here? Note. What should I do here? Note. Because Anupassana, just keep noting with mindfulness. So you keep noting, arising, disappearing, moment to moment. You make effort, sustain it continuously. So as you keep noting this, eventually you realize every single mental, physical nature that are noted disappear. They don't remain. There's not a single mental or physical nature noted that remains, that does not disappear. Every single one arise only to disappear immediately. So when you realize this, this is what we call anicca lakkhana, the characteristic of impermanence. Okay? So anicca, dukkha, anatta, they are called samanya lakkhana, universal characteristic, as opposed to specific characteristic. Specific characteristic is unique to each Dhamma, like earth element. What is unique about it is hardness, softness. Okay, but only earth element has this nature. So it's specific characteristic. So, but universal characteristic means is shared by all Dhammas, all conditioned Dhamma, mental, physical nature has this nature. Okay, anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanent, suffering, non-self. Okay, so when the yogi knows that everything, you realize everything disappear, everything that is noted disappear. So this, you discern this clearly. You are discerning the characteristic of impermanent, which is that disappearance itself. That disappearance is that hutva abhava tena anicca. It is impermanent in the sense of disappearing upon arising. Okay? So that disappearing itself is that nature anicca, impermanent. So when you discern this nature clearly, means you have insight into anicca. It's anicca anupassana jnana, the clear insight that arises from contemplating the nature of anicca. Okay? So, but this insight only arises with regards to objects that you have noted. Okay? Because you cannot contemplate everything in the universe. So you turn your attention within, contemplate internally, as the Buddha says, in the Satipatthana Sutta. You contemplate rising, falling, sitting, touching. You contemplate. When the mind is clear, you see everything disappear. That's only what you are noted directly. Okay, this is called Pachakanyana, the direct experiential insight. Okay, it means you experience it directly as you are noting. Okay, but when you note long enough, then at some point the mind will also spontaneously apply this insight onto other objects that you have not noted, like externally. So when you contemplate, everything that's noted disappear, impermanent. Okay? Then when you happen to turn your attention to externally, let's say to somebody else, then spontaneously you realize the mental physical nature in that person also impermanent. It's also disappearing moment to moment. This externally. Okay? But this by inference. Okay? It's called inferential knowledge, anumananyana. Okay? But there must be a basis of inference. The basis of inference is direct experiential insight. Okay? So it means first you must note directly. You must experience it directly through noting. Okay? When this is clear, then by inference this knowledge is applied onto other dhammas that you have not noted. Like those are externally in other people. Okay? And also all those dhammas in the past, all those dhammas in the future, so past, present, future, all dhammas. Okay? So all dhammas are impermanent. Even internally, externally, all dhammas are impermanent. Gross or subtle, inferior, superior, near or far, all dhammas are impermanent. Because you realize they will all disappear. Okay? So this is called inferential knowledge. So going back to the verse, sabbe sankhara anicchati. All sankharas, all formations are impermanent. Right? This is actually inferential knowledge. Okay? But the basis of it is direct experiential knowledge, paccakanyana. Okay? So the yogi must first contemplate within his own experience and see clearly within himself all the dhammas arising within his own internal aggregates. Whatever is noted disappear. Then you apply this to all formations. Okay? Sabbe sankhara anicchati. Okay? All formations are impermanent. So yada panyaya pasati, when one discerns this clearly with wisdom, panya, yada panyaya pasati, pasati again, see, discern, see with wisdom, panyaya pasati. So when one discerns this clearly, that all formations are impermanent, discern with wisdom. So what wisdom is this? Buddha just said wisdom. I didn't specify what wisdom is this. This is vipassana, wisdom. Remember just now we defined what is vipassana? It is that discerning clearly, the clarity of mind that discerns clearly the dhammas, mental physical nature, in various ways, as impermanent, as suffering, as non-self. So in this verse, Buddha says, this wisdom discerns all formations are impermanent. So this wisdom the Buddha talk about in this verse is vipassana. Okay, so if you know what is vipassana, you read this verse, you know immediately Buddha is talking about vipassana here. Okay, so you see, sometimes the Buddha he don't use the word vipassana. So people say Buddha never taught vipassana. Cannot find where vipassana. First you must understand what is vipassana. It's the wisdom that discerns clearly nature of impermanent suffering, non-self. If you understand this is vipassana, then you find actually vipassana is everywhere in the sutta. Right? You just flip any of the Nikaya, just flip. You will find Buddha talk about anicca, dukkha, anatta, especially in Samyutta Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya. Again and again the Buddha talk about anicca, dukkha, anatta. Every time he talk about anicca, dukkha, anatta, he's talking about vipassana, the development of vipassana, vipassana bhavana, vipassana meditation. Okay? And so here in this verse also, Buddha is talking about vipassana and the development of vipassana, vipassana bhavana. Okay? So when the yogi discerns clearly with wisdom that all formations are impermanent, then atta nibindati dukkhe, then he becomes weary, disenchanted with dukkha. Okay? So when you see impermanent again and again and again, okay? So Buddha says, yada niccam tam dukkham. What is impermanent is dukkha. So that's why in the second verse, it is sabbe sankhara dukkhati. Yada panyaya passati. So when he discerns clearly with wisdom that all formations are dukkha, suffering, okay? Atta nibindati dukkhe, then he becomes weary or disenchanted with dukkha. Okay? In the third verse, sabbe dhamma anattati, all dhammas, all dhammas are non-self. Okay? So, and when one discerns this clearly with wisdom, then one becomes weary or disenchanted with dukkha. Dukkha here means the process of dukkha. Okay? That's anicca, dukkha, anatta. So first discern anicca. Actually first you discern anatta. Because the first insight is actually anatta. You see it's all just dhamma, all just nature. Nama rupa paricetta. You discern, it's just nama rupa dhamma. Everything within the experience you're not rising, falling. Every time you note, there's just the materiality, the wind element and the knowing, the wind element and knowing, tightness, knowing. You note continuously, you see, there's just mental physical nature. Clearly you see them separate. So that's just mental physical nature. There's no person, no being, no self in the experience. There's just mental physical nature. You can search, where is the being? There's no being. Every single thing you note disappear. A self is something permanent. But you look within your experience carefully, nothing remains. Every single moment you note, whatever mental or physical nature noted, disappear. And that's just nature, mental, physical nature. No person, no being. From the third insight onwards, you discern the impermanence. The third insight you see clearly the disappearing. First insight actually you still do not discern the disappearing. Okay, first insight you just see nature, non-self in the sense of just nature, without any person, being. Okay, you still haven't really discerned it disappearing yet. So the nature of impermanence is still not clear during the first insight. Okay? Only in the third insight is clear. Okay? So in the third insight, you discern the disappearing, it starts getting clearer. Okay? So every time you note, it's just disappearing. Okay? So anicca. Okay? So Buddha says, yada anicca tam dukkha. What is impermanent is suffering, is dukkha. Okay? So whatever is impermanent is dukkha. Is dukkha precisely because it is impermanent. Okay? So when the yogi notes moment to moment, things just disappearing moment, every single moment. So it's like dying again and again. That's the aggregate. Why is disappearing? It's the aggregate. As we said just now, we are the aggregates. Right? And now you see what is supposed to be you. Disappear every moment. Okay? It's like dying. Every moment you're born and die. Birth and death, every moment. So you see this again and again happening. Disappearing clearly. So you see this long enough, you start to feel the oppressiveness in this continuous, never-ending process of impermanence. Okay? So, and this is no joke, man. This oppressive nature, this sankhara dukkha, the dukkha in the very nature of formations, in the very nature of things that are conditioned. There is this defect. The defect is impermanent. Okay, and keep breaking. We can watch. You start to feel it's very oppressive. It's very unsettling. Because it's unstable. The whole of your existence is unstable. Before you see this clearly, everything, because you live in a world of concept, everything is so stable, so nice, so predictable. Now you see, when you discern clearly, everything, the whole of your existence is unstable. You go, it's very oppressive. There's no joke. So, yogis who experience this, many of them cry during the interview when they describe this experience. So even a very macho man, when they experience it, they cannot stand, they cry. I have to give them tissue paper. So, because this suffering is in the very nature, heart of your existence itself. It's a defect. In the very nature of the existence. Something wrong here. in the existence. So often when yogis experience this nature of dukkha, they feel very uneasy. But sometimes, especially when they are not knowledgeable of the Dhamma, feel something is wrong here, something is just not right, but they cannot pinpoint what is wrong. No matter what they do, they feel uneasy. And they do walking meditation, after a while they feel uneasy, go and sit. They sit also, just for a while they feel uneasy, and get up and do something else. No matter what they do, something is wrong, something is not right. And they feel very miserable. So it's kind of an existential crisis. You cannot pinpoint because it's the whole of your existence. You see? Something is not right there. When the mind is clear, you can discern this. This is the nature of dukkha. So this dukkha comes from this impermanent. So yada niccam tam dukkha. What is impermanent is dukkha, suffering. So in the Girimananda Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya, I think it's the book of the tenth, Dasakanipata Pali. So Buddha talk about first anicca sanya, perception of impermanence. That means the mind perceiving the characteristic of impermanent, that disappear. Okay? And then it says anicca dukkha sanya, develop this perception of dukkha in anicca. Anicca dukkha sanya. Okay? So that means you perceive dukkha in anicca. You perceive the oppressive nature in this continuous impermanent. Then I perceive clearly this nature of dukkha, this oppressive nature, this miserableness, this wretched nature of the metaphysical process. So at some point you begin to realize you cannot stop it. You wish for it to stop. Because it's so oppressive, so miserable. So it comes to it's called munching tukam nyata jnana. Before that, the yogi experience after Bhanga jnana, you experience nature of anicca very clearly, and it's just disappearing. Every moment you know, it's just the mind and the object disappearing. Okay, you don't even see arising, just disappearing. Because it's just disappearing, you don't even know what is it disappearing. Because if it's just disappearing, without arising, object will not be clear. But you know something disappears. So object is not clear, but the characteristic of anicca is very, very clear. Disappear. That's why following immediately after Bhanga jnana be this series of insight. I call it dukkha jnana, where the nature of dukkha appear very, very distinctly. And this is the most difficult part of your practice. Nature of dukkha appears so vividly. Your whole life becomes very miserable. You start to discern clearly the fearfulness, bhaya jnana, fearfulness of this continuous process of dukkha. This is dukkha, oppressive, it's very fearful. Okay? Adinava jnana, I feel see the danger in this process. Okay? And I feel very miserable. Okay? Then the nibbida jnana, And mind becomes, well, it sees so clearly the dukkha, it starts to become weary, disenchanted. This process of dukkha, going on and on and on, you become weary, tired of it, disenchanted. Before you practice vipassana, you delight in it, you are totally captivated by it, very enchanted, under the spell of these 5 aggregates. You delight in seeing, in hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. You even delight in your thoughts. Right? What are these? Seeing, hearing, and so on. These are 5 aggregates. Right? You delight in it because you don't see its true nature. So you're enchanted, under the spell. And now when the insight is so clear, you break the spell. You become disenchanted. So the mind begin to let go attachment to this process of suffering. Okay, so anicca, dukkha, anatta. So you see suffering, but you cannot do anything about it. It doesn't stop just because you wish it to stop. It just go on and on and on and on. Nothing you can do about it. Okay, because it doesn't obey your wish. What does it obey? It obeys the law of conditionality. This process of dukkha, this continuous arising, disappearing, is the process of dependent origination. What you are noting is the process of dependent origination, going on. Okay, and what is driving it? Avijja, tanha, upadana, ignorance, craving, clinging. Clinging means the attachment. Okay, it's driving it. As long as this force is present, this process will go on and on and on. Not only in this present existence, it will go on and on from one existence to another. As long as this forces of avijja, tanha, upadana is present. Okay, so there's nothing you can do about it, except to sit by and helplessly keep noting. Okay, this is the nature of anatta. Anatta is not just there being no permanent self. It is also another nature of the self, the so-called self, according to the philosophy of the self, is that if it is a self, you should be able to control, exercise control. Okay? But now you see clearly you cannot exercise any control over it. So it's anatta. Okay? So you see from here, it's the same process, anicca, dukkha, anatta. It's in this one same process of dependent origination. This mental, physical nature, appearing, disappearing, moment to moment to moment. So you observe this carefully. This sankata lakkhana, nature, conditioned nature, arising, disappearing, rising, disappearing. Yes, discern this continuously. In this process, you discern the nature of anicca, dukkha, anatta. Okay, so it's a process of suffering. So when you see this clearly, all the formations are impermanent, all the formations are suffering, all dhammas are anatta. Okay? Then you say atane bindati dukkha. You become weary, tired, disenchanted with this dukkha, with this process of dukkha. Right? So then what happened? They say this esamago visuddhiya. This is the path to purity. So purity ultimately means nibbana. Nibbana is the ultimate purity. Okay, but here it also means the Noble Eightfold Path is called the path of purification, right? Visuddhimagga. So what does it purify? purify the mind from defilements, purify the mind from the cause of suffering, from avijja, tanha, upadana, ignorance, craving, clinging, these forces that drives the process of dependent origination. Okay, so Buddha says this is the path to purity. Okay? So when you practice this, when you develop vipassana, discern clearly, develop the insight that discerns clearly anicca, dukkha, anatta, discern it repeatedly, continuously. As the insight develops, it becomes clearer and clearer. Naturally the mind begins to let go. As you see anicca, dukkha, anatta more and more clearly, automatically the mind has the wisdom to let go. Let go. First of all, this wisdom that discerns anicca, dukkha, anatta, okay, it dispels ignorance. Ignorance is like darkness that covers up the mind. Okay, so when it's present, the mind cannot see clearly anicca, dukkha, anatta. Okay, so then this wisdom, this insight wisdom, it's like a very bright light that dispels this darkness. Then dispel avijja, dispel ignorance, that you see clearly. Anicca, dukkha, anatta, you see nature as it is. Okay, so when ignorance is dispelled, because ignorance is actually the support for craving. Right? If there were no ignorance, you see clearly, then craving cannot remain. Right? You see clearly anicca, dukkha, anatta, you can no longer crave. Right? It's like before you see something very shining, or you like it very much, it's so beautiful. Okay? But you do not know that it's really very hot. So ignorantly you go and touch. Oh, very nice. The moment you touch, it burns you. And you experience this very clearly. So the moment you are burned, what do? Do you still say, oh, so nice? No, you immediately let go. Right? So through this insight, the mind discerns clearly. Naturally, it begins to let go. Let go of that craving, the clinging to this process of suffering. It breaks the spell. You're no longer enchanted with it. So you start to shake the defilements. Okay? So avijja, tanha, upadana, shaken. Slowly, gradually being abandoned. So it's a process of purification of the mind. So it says, Esamago Visuddhiya. This is the path to purity. Okay? So as you develop this path, okay? And what is this path? Magga. This is the Noble Eightfold Path. Okay? These three verses they appear in the chapter on the path, Magga Vagga. The path referring to here is the Noble Eightfold Path. Okay? So Vipassana meditation is actually the development of the Noble Eightfold Path. Okay? So when you develop Vipassana, when you apply the method of Satipatthana to develop Vipassana, you are developing the Noble Eightfold Path. So, you see, before you practice, first you observe Sila, right? So, 8 precepts, 5 precepts at home. So, when you observe Sila, you make an aspiration, a determination to keep the precepts, not to kill, not to steal, and so on. Okay? So when you make this aspiration, genuine aspiration, determination, not simply recite the word. So you are really in your mind determined that you will not kill, will not steal, and so on. So you really make this sincere determination to abstain from killing, stealing, and so on, then you fulfill right speech, right action, right livelihood. Okay? For as long as you do not break the precepts, so right speech, right effort, right livelihood remain established. Okay? And during your meditation, there's no chance to break the precepts, right? Because you're so mindful every moment, noting. There's no chance to break the precepts. So it's established, remain intact. Yeah, even if you should break it every day, we also take precepts, renew the aspiration to observe the precepts. Okay? Okay, then when you practice meditation, what do? You make effort to bring up mindfulness and to direct the mindfulness to note, to contemplate the satipatthana objects. Contemplate the body, the feeling, the consciousness, the dhammas. Basically contemplating nama rupa. Right? So that effort is right effort. Okay? And that mindfulness is a satipatthana mindfulness. That is samasati, right mindfulness. Okay? And when you develop this mindfulness moment to moment to moment, so gradually the vipassana samadhi develops. A samadhi that helps the mind to discern clearly. That is sama samadhi, right concentration. Okay? Then based on this right concentration, you direct the mind to investigate nature of nama rupa. Okay? So that directing of the mind, that is sama sankappa. That's the right thought. So as you investigate, gradually begin to discern clearly nature, anicca, dukkha, anatta. That is right view. So right view discerns clearly the true nature as it is, impermanent, suffering, non-self. Okay? So this path, development of vipassana, okay, is a development of the Noble Eightfold Path. Okay? And this is the path to purity. So purity here, nibbana. Right? So you develop this continuously as the insight grows deeper and deeper, clearer and clearer, sharper and sharper. It's become more and more mature. When it's fully developed, fully mature, then in one moment, the magga, the path, the real Noble Eightfold Path arises. It arises only one moment. In that one moment, the mind takes nibbana as an object. Okay? Then, so it awakens to the Four Noble Truths. Okay? In that one moment, it awakens to the Four Noble Truths. Awaken to the Four Noble Truths means what? First, it takes nibbana as an object. Okay? It says that Noble Eightfold Path is the path that leads to the cessation of suffering. Right? So, cessation of suffering means nibbana. Right? So that means Noble Eightfold Path. The 8 factors of the path, right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. So in that one moment, all these 8 factors arise. And they work together and direct that consciousness, the magga citta, the path consciousness, to take nibbana as an object. Okay? That's why it's called the path that leads to the cessation of suffering. It directs the mind to that experience of nibbana, the cessation of suffering. Okay? So in that sense, it awakens to the third noble truth by realizing nibbana. Okay? So in Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Buddha says the third noble truth, cessation and suffering, is to be realized. Right? Sachikattabam. So at the moment of Magga, the mind realizes Nibbana. So in this sense it awakens to the third noble truth, through realizing. Okay? And in that moment also, it awakens to the first noble truth. What is the first noble truth? First noble truth is suffering. Right? What is it actually? It's 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates is the truth of suffering. Because the nature of suffering. So in the Dhammacakka Sutta also, Buddha says, Sankitena Panchupadana Kanda Dukkha. He defines what is suffering, what is the truth of suffering. Birth is suffering, aging is suffering, death is suffering, and so on. Right? But finally he says, in short, in brief, Sankitena, in brief, Panchupadana Kanda Dukkha. The 5 aggregates of clinging is dukkha. That is the truth of suffering. Okay? And this truth of suffering is what we contemplate in vipassana meditation. Right? That's our object. We contemplate 5 aggregates, mental, physical, nature. That is the object. Right? So in your practice, you have been developing insight into the nature of these 5 aggregates. Okay? Seeing clearly the nature of dukkha. Okay? Anicca, dukkha, anatta. So this is what we call preliminary work. Okay? So you spend many very long time going through, developing and going through all the stages of insight. It probably takes you many retreats. Even many lifetimes. But you are doing the preliminary work. Okay? So as you do the preliminary work, when the preliminary work has been done, then Magga arises. Okay? And in that one moment, it fully understands the truth of dukkha, noble truth of dukkha. So in the Dhammacakka Sutta, Buddha says the first noble truth is to be fully understood. Right? So now in that moment, it has been fully understood. So it's awakened to the first truth through full understanding. Okay? And in that moment also, because of seeing clearly nature of dukkha, there's abandoning of the second noble truth, craving. Okay? Of course, behind it is the ignorance. So the second noble truth is to be abandoned. Right? And now it has been abandoned, so you are awakened to the second noble truth. Okay? And the fourth noble truth is to be developed. Right? So at that moment of Magga, it has been developed. Okay? So it's awakened by developing. Okay? So in that one moment, because you have done the preliminary work, so in that one moment, you can awaken to the 4 noble truths, all in one single moment. Okay? So when you are awakened, you take the Nibbana as the object. That is purity, the ultimate purity. So esamago visuddhiya. This is the path to purity. So you see, vipassana also has got to do with the 4 noble truths. In the sense that the first noble truth is the object of vipassana. Okay? And through the 4th noble truth, you develop insight. Right? You practice vipassana, noble eightfold path. You see clearly nature of dukkha. Even by seeing the nature of dukkha clearly, you abandon the second noble truth. So when the second noble truth has been fully abandoned, and then when the cause has been removed, abandoned, then the effect ceases, the suffering, the process of suffering ceases. And you experience the cessation of suffering. And this cessation of suffering is just the nature of peace. Santi Sukha, the state, the happiness of peace. But this peace is not an ordinary peace. It's absolute peace. Okay? Because this peace, Nibbana, is unconditioned. So its nature, you see the first noble truth and the third noble truth, their nature is polar opposite. So first noble truth is conditioned, 5 aggregates are conditioned. Third noble truth, Nibbana, is unconditioned. Okay? There's no cause and condition for arising of Nibbana. Okay? So it's asankata, not sankata. The 5 aggregates is sankata dhamma, conditioned nature. Okay? Nibbana is asankata dhamma, it's unconditioned nature. It's also a nature, it's a dhamma. Okay? But it is unconditioned. It's a nature. So it exists naturally, it has a certain quality, the quality of peace. Okay? But it's unconditioned. That means there's no cause and condition for arising of Nibbana. So if it doesn't arise, can we say that it disappears? If it doesn't arise, it also doesn't disappear. Okay? So Nibbana does not arise, it does not disappear. It simply is. Okay? It's a state of absolute peace. No arising, no disappearing. It's stable. Okay? So it's lasting. Okay? So in the commentary, it even says Nicca, it's permanent. Nibbana is not anicca, it's Nicca. It's permanent. Okay? If it's anicca, then it's dukkha. Then it's anatta. Right? So if it's anicca, then you no need to practice, because then it's dukkha again. You see? So but Nibbana is not. Anicca is not impermanent. Okay? So it's stable, it doesn't arise, it doesn't disappear. It's a state of absolute peace. Its nature is that of peace. But it's unconditioned. So unlike, let's say, jhana. Jhana is also very peaceful. Okay? But jhana is conditioned. You stop meditating, that's the end of your peace. It's disappeared. Okay? But Nibbana is unconditioned. So it's stable. It doesn't disappear. It's always there. This state of absolute peace. Okay? So that's why it's a reliable refuge. For those who are seeking for true happiness. You know, when we say Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, I go to Dhamma for refuge. Ultimately, the refuge is Lokuttara Dhamma, Maggaphala Nibbana. This is the truly safe refuge. Okay? So you are actually seeking refuge in Maggaphala Nibbana. And only Maggaphala Nibbana is safe. Safe from dukkha. Okay? It's stable. So it's not anicca. And it is also not dukkha, of course. If it's dukkha, then you pack your bag, go back. It's futile to practice. It's sukha, it's santi sukha. Happiness, bliss. bliss of absolute peace. Okay? So, and now some ask, if the Nibbana is there, always there, how come we cannot experience it? It's there, even right now, it's there. How come we cannot experience it? Because the mind is obstructed by the defilements, by avijja, tanha, upadana, ignorance, craving, clinging, obstructing the mind from experiencing this very subtle nature of absolute peace. Okay, so obstructed by this, the mind cannot experience this. So only if you clear away all these defilements by developing the Noble Eightfold Path, developing insight, that you gradually clear away. Then when the defilements have been completely cleared away, then the mind can experience this. So, even the Aryas, the noble ones, they don't always experience Nibbana all the time. It's not that they go around every day or Nibbana all the time. So because as they go around every day, they are going around with everyday consciousness. Everyday consciousness cannot experience Nibbana. But Aryas, they can, if they want, direct the mind to experience Nibbana through what we call Phala Samapatti, the attainment of fruition. So that means they will go through the experience of insight orders, stages of insight again, and then with the aspiration to experience Nibbana again. So they have to do this meditation exercise. Okay? They make a determination to attain, to experience the Nibbana again. Okay? And then they go through the stages of insight one after another, using this insight to propel the mind again into, direct it again into the experience of Nibbana. Okay? So at that time, they experience the Nibbana with a special type of consciousness, or Phalacita, the fruition consciousness. Okay? So Nibbana is not dukkha, it's sukha. It's not anicca. You can say it is nicca. But is it atta or anatta? Who says it's atta? Actually, Nibbana is anatta. It's not atta. Nibbana is not self, it's Dhamma. Dhamma is anatta. It's nature. It's not a person, not a being, not a self, not an entity. Definitely not a God that you can pray to. It's just a state of absolute peace. Okay? So when the mind experiences this unconditioned nature of peace, the mind is completely purified from the defilements. Okay, so you experience the cessation of suffering. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's almost 5 o'clock already. We have been carried away. So even my nose also cured already. Okay, so
they spend 2 hours to summarize what we've done, 3 to 4 weeks. Just all of that we do the last 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
So you know, actually absolutely. The way like it translates like absolute convinced and the faith of Dharma and the Vipassana meditation. The faith of Buddha will be very, very good. Want to go, must go chong. Do not delay, do not wait.
Yeah. So the questions here, most of that is already answered during the talk. What does it mean impermanent? Okay, you already know. Are there different levels of impermanent? Yeah, as you go through the stages of insight, you discern more and more clearly. So like the third insight is very slow. It arises, then it goes for a while. Very slowly, it takes its sweet time before it finally disappears. But as you keep noting, developing, as the mind gets sharper and sharper, clearer and clearer, it starts to become faster and faster. Arising, disappearing, until you come to Udaya Bayanyana. It's so fast that the moment it arises, in that very moment it disappears. So at that time you cannot discern the moment of presence. Remember, there's arising, and presence, and then disappearing. Udaya Bayanyana, the fourth insight, so fast that the moment it arises, it disappears. The presence in between can no longer be discerned. So there's another level of impermanence. Then you go further, and then Bhanganyana. So fast that even the arising cannot be discerned. The moment you know, it's disappearing. So that's just the pure nature of nature. You go deeper and deeper, it gets clearer and clearer and clearer. This nature of anicca. Okay? But it leads to the experience of dukkha. That's what is important about it. Okay? How to realize them? Okay, I already explained. And contemplating body in the body. What is the meaning of contemplating here? What is the meaning of body in the body? Already explained. Can Bhante explain what degree of mindfulness he or she is in? Is it light, medium, heavy, or full? Don't just be mindful. Don't make the practice complicated. Light, medium, full. So naturally, as you develop further and further, so the mindfulness becomes stronger and stronger. Then you can feel the strength of the mindfulness. Okay? Nature of mindfulness is characteristic of mindfulness is establishing firmly. It establishes firmly on the object. Okay? And its function is non-forgetfulness. It does not forget the object. Okay? So in the beginning, when you try and you start your practice, you find mindfulness is still weak. So naturally, at that time, you find you note the object, because the nature of mindfulness is still weak. It cannot establish effectively on the object, right? And it keeps forgetting the object, right? You not one time, two time, you fly somewhere already. Then you bring it back, not one time, two time, three time, fly. Okay? That's because it's still weak. You cannot establish properly. You just forgetting. Okay. So, but you keep making effort, follow Satipatthana method, ardent effort. Keep noting continuously, precisely, with this mindfulness. Making effort also to discern as clearly as you can. Not. As you do this, mindfulness becomes stronger and stronger. Then its nature of establishing a function of non-forgetfulness, you start to feel it more clearly. You can establish better already. You cannot for longer before it forgets and fly off somewhere, right? But still it fly off eventually, right? So what do? Keep nothing. No. At some point, you find you wander less and less, and begin to be established more and more firmly, continuously. It doesn't wander that much anymore. Okay? You seldom forget the object. Okay? And sometimes you can feel the strength of this mindfulness. Okay? As it develops, you can feel that there's a strength in this mindfulness, a stability, a firmness in this mindfulness. You can feel the mindfulness is holding the mind together, steady, every time it notes the object. Okay? So that no matter how difficult the object, even pain also, excruciating pain, the mind remains steady, and simply just observe in a relaxed way. There's a strength in that awareness that is well developed. Okay? So you talk about different levels, light, medium, heavy. So as you develop, it goes from light to medium to heavy. And finally, it becomes so developed that it can even establish itself on the very fine object of Nibbana. That's the most developed. How can a yogi tell he's reaching a jhana level, a stage? So you find the mind sticks to the object. Here I talk about more vipassana jhana, not the samatha jhana. So vipassana jhana is momentary. You call it kanika samadhi, momentary concentration. Because of the way we develop this concentration, we are noting objects that are momentary, mental, physical nature. They are momentary. They arise, disappear in one single moment. Okay, so we are noting this momentary object. But we are noting moment to moment to moment, each mental, physical nature, because it's a process. Okay? One after another, arising, disappearing, momentarily. So we are noting, one moment. Okay? As you develop, you find the mind becomes more and more fixed in each moment. It doesn't get distracted easily. You feel the mind sticks to it, every moment. Okay? Now you can feel the strength of the mind as this develops. Okay? So it's like the needle of the sewing machine. So this, unlike samatha jhana. Samatha jhana is like you take a needle, you stick it in the pin cushion. That is samatha jhana. You just stick there, remain there. That's all. So samatha jhana is just stick on the object and then remain on the object. Okay? The object is a concept, so it doesn't change. So the mind just remains there. So it's very peaceful. It doesn't change. And so it's very, very peaceful. Okay. So, but vipassana is different. Vipassana, the object is up and down, arising, disappearing, arising, disappearing. Okay? So the concentration cannot just stick there. The object is like this, so the concentration also like this. So like the needle or the sewing machine. So the object is like the cloth that's passing through the needle. So one thread after another, the needle going. Every moment it goes in. It's like samadhi, it goes in, fix on it. But it's only momentary, because the object is momentary. And then disappear. But the next one go. And then the next, and the next. Okay? So when it is well developed, it has its momentum. And how the mind keep noting, absorb into every moment, see clearly nature, anicca, dukkha, anatta. That's how it penetrates, moment to moment. Okay? So you can know yourself when the mind is about. You feel the mind just go deeper and deeper. It sticks more and more continuously and become more and more stable. The mind is not easily shaken, distracted from the noting. So, okay. But when you are in samadhi, it's like you are lost in it. Especially with samatha jhana, you are lost in the object. Okay, and it's like you are asleep. When you are asleep, do you know that you are asleep? You do not know. It's only after you wake up, then you look back, then you know, oh, I was asleep. Right? So when the yogi is absorbed in jhana, samatha jhana, it's like they're lost in it. The whole mind absorbed, unified with the object. Okay? So it's like asleep. Because when you go in the object, the experience is undifferentiated. Like you take the casino, let's say white casino. So you take the image, the white image, you absorb. You look at the image, you memorize it, and then you meditate on the image in the mind. As you meditate on it, the jhana factors develop, become more and more pure. The image also become more and more pure, expand, and then the mind keep going until finally the whole mind unified, absorbed into that whiteness. So when it's unified, it's undifferentiated. So the mind is the whiteness is the mind. When you look at the mind, you see the whiteness. When you look at the whiteness, you see the mind. It's unified, you cannot differentiate. And it's a unified experience, undifferentiated, because it's all whiteness. Okay? You do not know anything except whiteness. There's not even the thought, this is whiteness. There's just the experience of whiteness all around. You can imagine that experience. Everything, your whole universe is just white. Your whole world is just white, undifferentiated. It's like you're in a dream of whiteness. So when you're lost in it, you do not know. Okay? Because it's undifferentiated. Even the thought cannot arise that you are absorbed in whiteness. Okay? The mind simply experiences whiteness. It's only after you come out from it, then you know that you have been in a very deep state of peace, concentration. Okay? But vipassana jhana is at least differentiated because it's moment to moment. Different nature, even with similar nature, and it's still arising, disappearing. It's differentiated. Okay, but still the mind can become absorbed into Because you are just noting, like you note the nature of nature, just disappearing, disappearing, disappearing. Every moment the mind just know, disappearing, disappearing. There's not even the thought arise about disappearing. There's just the experience, the pure experience of disappearing, disappearing, again and again. Thinking does not arise. The mind is not thinking at all. It's just experience. So it's also like lost in it. Disappearing, disappearing. You don't even know that you're meditating. The mind is just experiencing clearly anicca, anicca, anicca. It's only when you emerge from it, to come up from it, you look back, then you see clearly, oh, okay, you have been experiencing anicca, or disappearing. Okay? So when you are in it, you do not know. Okay? But when you are about to go in, you can feel the mind, it gathers the momentum, the strength is there. But if you are too excited, lai liao, then that's it. You break the momentum. So you must let it be, let it go, don't interrupt. That's why I say, get the self out of the way. Just let the mind do the work of noting. Okay? Don't interfere. Okay. Okay, last one. Can the mind do multitasking? That is the worst thing to do if you want to cultivate mindfulness. Multitasking. Because the mind is one channel. There's no two channel, three channel. The mind is single channel. You see, even in noting, the mind can only note one object at a time. One nature at a time. So you cannot handle more than one. So you try to do more than one thing at a time, the mind becomes split. You cannot focus. Okay? So nowadays, you see, a habit of our modern world, especially internet, social media, things are so momentary. Scroll your handphone. On this, you look, you don't look to the end. Oh, this one interesting, you jump, you click, you go to this. Then you read this. Before you finish reading another link, oh, this not interesting, you go. So over time, you see, people are developing short attention lifespan. So with this type of mind, you can't meditate, it's very difficult. You cannot hold your attention continuously on your object. Anupassana will be very difficult. That's why I imagine going down the road in the future, when the next generation of yogis come in, it may be more and more difficult to train the yogis. Yeah. Hopefully by then I retire already. And let the next generation of teachers deal with that. Yes. Yeah, sure.
So let's say during meditation when we are in pain, we're supposed to watch the pain or contemplate at the same time and chant.
No. You see, even anicca, dukkha, anatta is something you realize. So even as you are noting, you are seeing all this nature, you see, you discern it continuously, then you realize everything disappearing. Yeah. Yeah. Realize impermanent, you must see distinctly the disappearing. Okay? Again and again you must discern. Just because you change from here to here, that doesn't mean impermanent. Okay? Ideally, you focus there. Okay? Then discern it carefully. Okay? Go into the process, the moment-to-moment process. Okay? Yeah. But to discern it, another important point is that even though we say ardent effort, but you also must know how to make effort properly. Ardent effort doesn't mean you force the mind into the object, rising, force. Your mind is so tense, you cannot discern clearly. So the mind must be relaxed. Usually in a retreat, usually in the very first Dhamma talk, in a retreat, tell the yogi about, we'll talk about nature of mindfulness, and then we'll say that mindfulness is pure awareness, wholesome awareness. Okay? It's not, you say awareness, but it's not just any type of awareness, it's mindfulness. It's wholesome, pure awareness. That means awareness that it does not come with defilements, greed, hatred, delusion. So like if you know pain, the more you're aware, the more angry you become. That is not mindfulness, right? That's awareness, but that is not mindfulness. Because it comes with anger, aversion. Okay? Mindfulness is pure awareness. Okay? Without any anger. So, because it's pure awareness, it has certain qualities of a wholesome mind. So this is going back to what I learned this from Bhante Sujiva. It says noting mind must have basic wholesome quality. Noting mind must have basic wholesome quality. So he usually mentioned 3 qualities: softness, peacefulness, and clarity. Okay, so the mind must be soft. Soft means it's not hard, not rigid. It's soft, it's flexible, it's adaptable. It can adapt to any object. Okay, so some yogis say not rising, falling, no problem. Very good noting. Suddenly mosquito come. Cannot. Fear arise. So cannot adapt. See, nothing is one track. So it must be soft, flexible, adaptable, not hard and rigid. Then the second one is peaceful. So peaceful means it's not disturbed, not agitated, not disturbed. Okay, it's peaceful, it's calm, it's relaxed. So you can even say pasadi, tranquil. Okay, so then the third one is clarity. The clarity comes with the purity of mind. That means without defilements. Nothing to disturb the mind can discern clearly. Okay, so these 3 qualities. Whenever you know, you make effort, but the mind must be soft, peaceful, clear. So,
pain fall under that. Pain
yes.
fall under.
Fall under what?
When there's a pain,
Yeah.
You don't explain that.
Yeah. Pain is the object. But even as you note the pain, that noting mind must have this quality: soft, peaceful, clear. So I usually add another quality: detachment. Detach from it. So you note pain, you must not fight with the pain. Often that's the mistake a yogi make. Pain, pain, no. When is it going away? No. So you must not fight with it, not struggle with it. Struggle like this, your mind is disturbed, it's agitated, it's hard, not peaceful, it's not clear, definitely not clear. So let's relax. Okay? So usually, as a yogi, first you relax, you take a few deep breaths, mindfully in, out. This will help to relax the mind. Okay? Once the mind relaxes, it's soft, it's peaceful, calm, it's clear. Then you direct it to the pain. So you just put it there. Let the mind relax into it. No need to exert more effort because it's already so clear. It's literally pulling the mind to it. Right? So you don't really need any special effort to note the pain. You just put the mind there. And all the nature of the pain is already clear. Right? You just relax, open the mind. Let the mind be open, relax, discern. Just feel. Use the mind, feel the pain. Feel the nature, the quality of the pain. So, how is it like? Pulling, or twisting, or poking, or pressure, or heat, whatever nature, just note. So you keep the mind there, no, relax into it. You keep going in, you start to see the change. It's moment to moment, it's not static. But only when the mind is soft, it can go in and feel clearly the very minute changes. The mind is hard, rigid, cannot go in. You see, just like a sponge. You have a sponge. A sponge has many microscopic holes, right? So if you take ice, hard block of ice, you put it on the sponge, can it go through? It cannot go through, right? But you put water, normal room temperature water, it's soft. You pour it on the sponge, and water goes through on the microscopic holes, right? So object is very fine. Vipassana object can be very fine. So we want to discern clearly the moment-to-moment process. The mind cannot be hard, rigid, it has to be soft, peaceful, clear. You slowly feel into the object. Okay, so it's soft, peaceful, clear. But you need effort. Effort to feel. You soft, peaceful, and no effort, you sleep. Soft, peaceful, but in that space of soft, peaceful clarity, you make effort. Feel the object. Then slowly it becomes clearer and clearer. So with pain, you don't fight with it, don't struggle. So make the mind soft, relax, detach, watch. Now initially, of course, it's easier said than done. You need a lot of effort in order to practice this. Okay? Initially, even despite your effort, to be soft, to be relaxed, after noting for a while, you still find the mind become agitated again. So when you find that the mind is agitated, forget about the pain first. Turn your attention to the mind. Not the mind, not the agitation, not the aversion, whatever it is, tightness, stress, not that first. That's a hindrance. That's the ill will, one of the hindrance. No until it disappears. Okay? So when it disappears, you see the mind change. The state of agitation of the mind disappears. Another state of mind arises. That's calm, peaceful, relaxed. You see the change in the state of mind. So once, that means the unwholesome mind disappears, the wholesome mind appears. Okay? So once the mind wholesome again, then you direct it again back to the pain. Soft, relax again. Go in, feel. Okay? So the mind has to be soft, noting mind, even though they say make ardent effort. Okay? But you need to know how to balance it up. This softness, peacefulness, clarity. Okay? It's the balancing of the mind. There's a balance between samadhi and virya. Okay? One is active, energizing. The other one is calming. So more passive. But these two needs to be balanced. Okay? If one is stronger than the other, the mind is either is unstable because too much energy, or it becomes too still. When it's too still, it doesn't do the work of noting, investigating clearly. So these two must be just balanced, just enough calmness to be able to remain continuously on the object, at ease with the object continuously. Only when the mind is at ease, it can sink in and listen clearly. Okay? But you also need just enough energy to continuously discern, investigate nature of the object that you are noting. Okay? So when these two are well balanced, perfectly balanced, then the mind becomes very sharp. In the moment, you can pick up the nature very clearly. Okay? And the noting also becomes at ease. You don't feel that you are struggling or you are. The mind is very at ease, watching, continuously, very calm, peaceful.
Can I ask if that is right to do this? Sometimes, most of the time now, I will say welcome pain because I will expect the pain to come, welcome the pain. If the pain don't come, the sleepiness will come. So welcome pain, then I watch it to experience it.
Yeah.
Not bearable, and I continue watching.
Yeah, we should welcome all objects, not just pain. Yeah, that's the attitude yogi must adopt. Any object that arises is an object to be noted. Okay, so also don't become too reliant on pain in order to remain awake. Yeah. You should rely on mindfulness to stay awake. So make effort to note, not sharply, not precisely, not continuously. Then you always stay awake. Okay? Okay. Any more questions?
Okay. Sometimes you need other method to do the rising in oil. Then sometimes you realize that it's impermanent. Rising in oil is impermanent. So maybe you put the impermanence there. Will you need to realize it or just know it as something?
How do you know that it's impermanent?
The rising of the breath up and then falling. So you know that it's rising, then falling, then today you form a realization that still.
Oh, that's more like analyzing, thinking already. So vipassana, you don't think. It's the insight. Let's say insight. Insight means it's intuitive. Okay? So that means it's the intuitive mind that understands, not the rational mind, not the intellect. Okay? So you must get the rational mind, the thinking mind out of the way. Otherwise, they always get in the way. Oh, this one, just now was this, and now it's not this anymore. Impermanent. That's analyzing, thinking. That's using the rational mind. That is not real insight. It's real insight into impermanence, as we said just now, is you experience clearly the nature of impermanence. You must actually experience that characteristic of impermanence, like disappear. Okay, and disappearing means it vanish completely. It's not that like a piece of glass fell down on the floor. You say impermanent, but there are still pieces of it lying around. No. Impermanent means disappear completely. See like this sound. Where's the sound now? It's completely disappear. Right? You see, the moment it arises, you try to catch its arising. You notice? You notice the moment it arises, what happened? Disappear. So, it's like this, something like this. Okay? And this is easy. That's why I say Vipassana is easy. See, disappear. But what about this? This is more difficult. Okay? This one you need Anupassana. Very sharp, precise. No. Then you can discern each one. Disappear, arise, disappear. Okay? But this actually is still nothing because it is very gross. Sound is gross. There are more subtle objects, like consciousness, very subtle. So subtle, you really have to go into it. The mind has to be very soft. Go into it, feel very clearly, sharply. Then only you can discern. Only when you discern this continuously, then it hits the mind. Yes, nothing, everything disappear. But the mind does not think. The mind doesn't say, oh, this is impermanent. No, it's just experiencing, disappearing. Okay? So it's like you're lost in it. So that's the experience of nature. Yeah? Of course, this is experience at the intuitive level. Okay? The intuitive mind actually understands what's going on. Understand that it's impermanent, but the rational mind cannot understand yet. So if your rational mind try to understand, sometimes when it experiences, the rational mind cannot understand. So you try, what's going on here? Something is wrong. Then you try to understand. Then the rational mind gets in the way, and the whole process of meditation is disrupted. That's why you must get it out of the way, okay? And let the noting keeps happening. Let the intuitive mind work. You have to trust the process. Okay? So when you experience it long enough, clearly enough, deep enough, gradually and eventually, this intuitive understanding will filter out to the rational mind. Gradually the rational mind will begin to understand. Okay? So let it happen naturally. Don't go on busybody, go and the mind is trying to investigate you, busybody, go and help you. Do it like that, do it like that. Get it out of the way. The trust in the mindfulness to do the work. So your only job is to make sure mindfulness is continuously there. That's the only job. You keep noting. Okay? The noting mind will do the work. Okay? But you have to trust it as it develops. So you guide it, give it direction, and then it will do the work. So the direction comes out. Satipatthana method. Okay? You receive the basic instruction. So based on this, you guide the mind to note in a certain way. Then the mind will gradually do the work as it develops. Okay? So you need to have faith, saddha, in this process and let it happen. Otherwise you keep interrupting. Then you find cannot progress. Why? Because you keep interrupting. So to progress, you need to trust and let go into it. That's why simple-minded people usually they progress faster. Because they don't think so much. There's not. The teacher says not rising, falling, not falling. Okay, rising, falling. Don't question. Just keep nothing. And the mind goes in. Then you start to experience clearly by themselves. Then, your thoughts are very complicated. Rising. How rising? Is this rising? Is that rising? Is this correct? Is this not? So then, it keeps interrupting. So it's very simple. Actually, Vipassana meditation, as one teacher puts it, it is the simplest of all activity. Simplest because you don't even have to think. You just have to watch. Right? Think is difficult. Right? You simply step back, relax, and just observe. Simple. Right? Simple, but so simple that it's not easy. For modern, complicated people, not so easy. But if you, simple people, yes, you see Mahasi Sayadaw's time, it was a simpler time. I think most of his early disciples, they are very simple farmers. So they don't think so much. And on top of that, in the Burmese culture, the faith, the Saddha is very strong. They listen to everything the teacher said. They're very obedient. So the Sayadaw give instruction, they just follow. Because the mind is so simple, they can go in and experience very fast. They don't have doubt here, doubt there. Oh, this, oh yeah, oh now this, oh now this. So, okay.